You're listening to God's Modern Day Millionaires Daily Devotional for busy marketplace leaders around the world. Day 53, Staying Spiritually Fit for Restoration. If you're like most of us, the beginning of the year is a great time to set new goals. So as we plan and set new goals, often at the top of the list is a commitment to exercise our physical bodies. Now, to be honest with you, we oftentimes we make these commitments and we don't keep them. And personally, many years ago, I made the commitment to work out on a regular basis. It's necessary for staying in good physical shape. I even tried to mix it up every now and then. Now, one of the reasons I do so is because I often get bored with the same regimens. So I try to do things differently from time to time. Working with various trainers, I found that it's good to do so. Now, 1 week before I turned age 65, I hired a personal trainer and asked that he would not train me as one making 65, but as one making 45. And even though after a few days in between classes, I would ask myself, why am I putting myself through this torture to get in shape? However, I quickly realized that I needed to stay focused as I turn off my flesh to achieve the goals I desire for myself. Now, the health and physical achievements I've set for myself will be my personal reward of the restoration that I'm expecting. Now, you may be asking the question, why am I sharing this with you? For marketplace leaders, it's a good thing to be physically fit. However, there is also a fitness that is of greater importance, and it's one that we cannot avoid, especially if we expect to achieve and maintain our physical and personal restoration. It's called staying spiritually fit for greater success. Now, when I studied the word exercise in the Greek, it's the word gymnazo. Gymnazo means to exercise while naked. Now listen, I'm not proposing to anyone to go to the gym today to exercise naked physically. But this is the same word where we get the word gym or gymnasium from. You see, during biblical times, you would often see Greek athletes training their physical bodies for various combat sports. Now, they would be training in an attire that would not hide their various parts of the physical bodies, not unlike those of us who train today to keep our physical bodies in shape. Now, we wear different types of gym clothing. It's the same way spiritually. 1 Timothy 4:7-8 says, have nothing to do with godless myths and old wives' tales. Rather, train yourself to be godly. For physical training is of some value, but godliness has value for all things, holding promise for both the present life and the life to come. Now, what I believe Paul was telling young Timothy, who at the time of this writing was a very young pastor of one of the largest churches in his time, that being and staying physically and spiritually fit is the greatest thing you could do as a pastor. I believe it was because the church during Timothy's time was in the center of the marketplace. Probably somewhere in the marketplace was also the place where the athletes would train. Now, Timothy and other believers would have to pass this place on their way to the house of worship. The place of worship was often in the center of the marketplace. Now, if you want to achieve something great, you will have to stay spiritually fit. For marketplace leaders to stay spiritually fit, we will have to train naked before the Lord. In other words, as you train, when you come before the Lord, you should come naked. Now, the word naked is another way of saying come totally surrendered and vulnerable before the Lord with all honesty and humility. Be honest about the places where you're weak. Honesty and humility are the hammers that will always shatter the walls that stand between you and your restoration. Honesty and humility are the twin character traits of your restoration. Tomorrow, I'll give you part 2.